can see this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. See how fast this is doing it this way? So now I have, let me have your, yeah. Because we were talking about doing that on this one. So then, see how we start making a mosaic pattern? And of course, obviously, you would leave space in between these things for your grout lines. And it can become, it becomes a really interesting type of pattern because you've got your straight things over here and you're going the other way there. Remember, the key thing is in the background, you don't want to see the background. It's supposed to be background. If the background is so bright here that it obscures the face, then you've not done the proper job. It's background. That's all it is background. But this, also, by the way, in background, sometimes what you do is you use a solid color. So I use black a lot of the time because I don't want people to notice it's there. I want it to be solid, and I just want this face just to jump out, to have the light over there, and the black is the background in terms of doing that. Some people will do the exact opposite. They'll make it all translucent on something like this and go this way. It's an artistic idea that you have to decide the way you want to go. But if you decide you want to do it, you know, see, this would be as one piece. I could cut this, but it'd be very heavy. And artistically, it would be too heavy. It's too perfect, and you don't want perfect in this particular situation. So again, when you're making your chunks, you go small to large like this, and then you're just doing your cuts with your thing. You can make them individually. I just did it real fast, but it's a cheap way to do it quickly. Now also, you can do your background using the nipper, which is the curved edge, or you can use the nipper, the straight edge one that you in turn have. That's a little slower, but you can get more of the detail. What happens sometimes is I'm gone through this and I made all these pieces, and I need a piece that's about this long in order to fill the gap. Then I'll go with this. Questions on it?
It's not necessarily about that, but it was when you were speaking yesterday and you talked about, just for example, doing the whole of this face out in one piece of glass to raise it up away from the back.
Yes.
There. Now, what would you do? You would then have two pieces of glass, a double thickness, wouldn't you? Mm-hmm. What about the edge? You would just leave that there.
Well, there's two ways of thinking about that too. That's a piece of glass. Okay, when you do that, on the grinders you have a thing called a jewelry bevel. So it bevels the thing so that it's not a straight edge, it's a rounded edge.
Oh, I see.
And it gives a very nice effect.
And that's on the grinder?
Yeah, you buy them at Delphi.
Okay.
The booth all the way over there. It's called a jewelry grinder. Right. There's also one that's called a bevel grinder.
Right.
So you take a look at it and tell it specifically. You bring the piece of glass and say, you know, I want to have it as a beveled edge over there. Which of your grinder bits would in turn do that?
And therefore, then that edge of both the face and the solid raised piece, you would bevel both pieces so they would be nice and smooth.
Now, I just finished a piece which is 3 levels.
Oh.
And what I had is, I have a face, it's called the Oracle. And I did this in wood. So I have my wood background, I have my face outlined
Yes.
in wood. I put a second wood on it, and I put a third wood on it. So the face really jumps out like this. The background is all submerged. And then he's on a path, and the path is second level. So here I have this monk going to see the oracle. And so he's coming down from the smile, he's going up, and then you have this big monstrous oracle type of thing. And I use no straight lines, all little tiny pieces of like confetti to make the oracle up. It's one of my most successful failures. It's nice for the depth, but it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted it.
But with the likes of that face, perhaps you could also, with your solid piece of glass that you're using to